Hey, what is up everybody? It's FoulFell, and so before this video starts, I want to let you all know that if you want to come and see me, I will be in Columbus, Ohio for the regional April 1st at the Arnold Convention Center. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be actually playing this specific deck over there for the YCS, or not YCS, the EU regionals. So yeah, let's first off get into it. So I'm obviously playing Paleozoic frogs, as you can see. This is the extra deck. I'm going to put it over there. So first off, you're going to run 3 Swap Frog. Great card, probably one of the best cards about this deck. You know, summon or special summon, activate the effect, put a rodent totem in grave, and get ready to pop them off. You run 3 Duke Frog. Another great card. Doesn't see as much play as it probably should from me. I usually just use this card to chain off Rodent Totem because Swap Frog's too valuable to banish unless I know I have a lean to get Swap Frog back. I usually will never banish my Swap Frogs. I'll always banish my Duke Frogs. Also great effect of adding 1 frog to your hand. Then you run 2 Rodent Totem. Pretty self-explanatory. Banish 1 frog, special summon him. Then we run 1 spell, and it's going to be Regeki. Pretty self-explanatory as well. Pop their monsters. You know, all that work they had, it's down the drain. Now let's get into the Paleozoic cards. You're going to run 3 Pakia. Pakia is basically your Destiny draw. It's your draw power, along with another card that you're going to be running in this deck. But you're mainly going to want to search out Pakia and always try to run it, because the more cards you get to put out, the more plays you get. Then you run 3 Dino. Banish mechanic, very good. The great thing about this card is it doesn't specify it has to be a Paleozoic card that you discard, so it has a lot more of mobility, unlike Paleozoic Pakia, where you have to discard a Paleozoic card. Then you run 3 Canadia or Canadia, whichever you want to call it. This is your Book of Moon for the deck. I mainly, if I have a Dino or if I have a Paleo Pakia, I'll usually grab this card to discard, because I never really have to put people's cards face down. I can usually just destroy them straight up. So, but if I do have to, I do run 3 just in case. Then we run 2 Olin. This is your MST back row support. Destroys 1 set spell trap. Then your final Paleozoic card you run is 1 Paleozoic Lean. This targets 1 banish card. It could be from either side, and you gotta add it back to the graveyard. So pretty much it only works out for you unless you want to give your opponent better effects. Now we run 2 Dimensional Barrier, and we also run a Forbidden Acropha. If you could, I'd run 3 Dimensional Barrier, but I'm starting to notice this 1 Forbidden Acropha actually works out really well. As some of you may know, some of the people that are closer to me and talk to me a lot more often, I actually was running 2 Forbidden Acropha because I'm a poor fuck and I didn't have enough for another Dimensional Barrier. Luckily, one of our buddies I'm going up to the regionals with hooked me up with another Dimensional Barrier, so I'm lending this one. But so you want to run 2 and then 1 Forbidden Acropha. I actually used Forbidden Acropha today in playtesting. My buddy had a whole XYZ front row support because he was playing Metalfoe Zoos, and I Forbidden Acropha him, and all of them were gone. You run 3 Solemn Strike. Pretty self-explanatory why you run 3. You could also dish out 1 and put a Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning also is very good because it doesn't require it to be special summoned. It's just whenever it is summoned or a spell or trap card would be activated. The only downside to running a Solemn Warning is that it pays 2,000 instead of 1,500 like Strike does. And then you run 3 Wabuku. Wabuku's effect is basically you don't take any battle damage and know your monster is destroyed by battle. Very good card, especially if you need to save your ass for a couple more turns. Then you run 3 Lost Wind. Amazing card, amazing effect. You fuck your opponent over. That's all I gotta say. You fuck your opponent over. 3 Reckless Greed. More draw power, more win. Yeah. Also, don't play this immediately after you set it. I learned this the hard way, because if you play this right after you set it, right, you're basically disabling yourself for the next turn. Because say if I draw this, right, and I set it and I wait, I'm basically negging a card because I could have waited, drew my other card, and then activated it. So, and also the only time I would activate it right after I set it is if they have a twin twist or something. It's better to use the draw mechanic than to just let it go to waste. Then we're getting into the single cards. We run 5 single traps, 1 compulsory, 1 ring of destruction, 1 breakthrough skill, 1 mirror force, and 1 dust tornado. Dust tornado obviously just for some back row. And that is it for the main deck. We'll get into the side deck real fast before we get into the extra deck. First and foremost, I want to specify that my side deck is not built around what everyone should be playing, so always side deck differently than me. I'd run 3 magic deflector, but I don't have 3, I have 1. So run 3 of this if you could. I run 3 Lancia for Infernoids, because fucking Infernoids. I run 1 Water Torrent Barrier Statue, because you don't need to special summon anything but Paleozoics, or Totally Awesome, because Totally Awesome is the best card in the game. 1 Paleozoic Marilla, just in case I need to use the effect. This card, what you mainly do is you send Lost Wind to the grave, or Breakthrough Skill. Just cards that you need to disable your opponent. Usually, this doesn't see play because I only have it at 1, but just in case, and I feel a little spicy. Then we have the other Breakthrough Skill in here, and we have My Body as a Shield. Then the final card you run is the Twin Twisters. Also, there's going to be a Dark Hole in here, just in case I feel like saying fuck you to my opponent and myself. But that is the side deck. Now let's get into the extra deck. I'm lending one of these, but 3 Totally Awesome. Pretty much your main boss monster. Negating effect and has a plus whenever he is sent to the graveyard. There was actually a time earlier today where we had to send upwards to 3 extra deck cards to the graveyard, and I didn't think about it, and I chose like some ones I rarely use, and someone was pointing out that you could just send the 3 Totally Awesomes and get 3 Toads back. But I didn't really see it as viable, but it was a good idea nonetheless. So you always run 3. No, I mean you can run 2 if you can't afford the other one, but always run 3 if you can. Then you run 2 Paleozoic Amana. This card rarely gets seen, but when it does, it's probably because I chained off with Opabenia, because Opabenia is probably the go-to card I usually go to for starting out the duel. I don't know why, actually, other than that I can activate Paleozoic cards from my hand. It's actually a really good effect. Also, all Paleozoic cards are unaffected by other card effects, which is really broken. Then you run 3 Opabenia. Coolest card about the side deck. You detach 1 if you have a trap. Always want to detach the monster, obviously. You detach, you search. If you already have a Paleozoic in hand, you search a Canadia or something that you can actually lose and afford to lose, and to put into your graveyard. Pakia, draw 2 more. Sometimes I'd also use this chain. What you would do is you would activate this, activate Marilla, get Lost Wind in your grave just for next round. There's endless possibilities with this card, and then if you get 2 on your side, right, and you've already used both of the materials, you can just XYZ into another card that we'll be getting into here shortly. Then you run a number 45. This doesn't see a lot of play, but it's a very good card, negating the effect of a monster, and if any other of that same card comes out, their effects are also negated. Very cool, very fun. 1 Armored Kappa. I don't really use this card. This card doesn't see a lot of play, honestly, but it probably should. But we're going to get into the final 4 cards that I do use the most besides Totally Awesome, and which I'm honestly considering. I'm going to probably bump this one up to 2, Cat Shark. Basically, you detach 1, you double the attack and defense of 1 lower rank 4 lower XYZ that you control. So I'll show you what I mean here. So you have Cat Shark, right? You run 1 Dagastro Phoenix. So what you do is you'd have these 2 out, right? You detach with Dagastro Phoenix, and then you detach on himself. Target himself, he can attack twice. You activate Cat Shark, make his attack double. He's at 3,000. He can do a 6k beat stick. That's pretty much what he is, and that's why I love this thing. And the only problem is whenever Cat Shark is destroyed, I don't really have any ways of getting Cat Shark back into my extra deck. So I'm thinking about actually just running 2, because Cat Shark is a super viable card for me, and has shown itself to be a super important card for whenever I'm just trying to kill my opponent quickly. That's usually my goal whenever I play, is I just try to kill my opponent as quick as possible. I don't want to give them any room for just ways to beat me. And we run 1 Sky Cavalry Centuria, discard, return the card to a hand, super good card. And then the final card you play is number F0 Utopic Future. Now, this card is by far one of my favorite cards to play in the late game. If I have already expended all my my materials for like some of these like Opabinias and stuff and my Totally Awesomes, I have no problem materializing them. And then Totally Awesome, once he gets sent to the grave, you can get a frog. There's just so many things that you can do with Utopic Future. Utopic Future's effect as well is whenever he is going to be destroyed, you can detach 1 material and negate it. So super cool. Also in the battle phase, neither player takes battle damage whenever with this card. So basically what you do is you attack, say, their monster that you want the most. So you attack their monster, you use Utopic Future's effect, which you get to take control of that monster for the battle phase. So I attack it, right? I gain control of their monster, and then I can attack them with their own monster. So it's a really cool card effect. And if they only have 1 and you've destroyed their back row, that's pretty much going to be a GG, especially if you have a Digesto Phoenix, a Cat Shark, and a Totally Awesome out, and a Utopic Future. There's no way they're going to get around that, especially if you already have cards out on your back row and you've destroyed basically every possibility of them even remotely stopping you. So yeah guys, that was the deck profile for my totally awesome Paleozoic deck. If you guys have any questions or you want to see some gameplay, I am going to be probably taking up my camera for this event because I think it's going to be a unique thing to do. But yeah guys, that's all I have for you. If you guys have any questions, make sure to put them in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.